Howdy, folks. I know it's late, so we're probably not going to get a lot of viewers, and I'm pretty tired, and probably going to stammer over some words as a result. But I just wanted to make a kind of short, long. I don't know what the exact length is going to be. Little PSA type thing. We got a comment. Let me see where it was. I posted it on Twitter. But honestly, it's not even just about this comment. It's about other stuff relating to it that I've seen around in the community sometimes in very rare bursts. And so the comment we got was on the new Archie video, and the person who posted it was pretty disrespectful on some other videos of ours too. So we hid them from the channel. And I'm not going to say who it was because I don't want them to go and get harassed or anything, but they said, "Why do y'all keep changing the voice actors for terrible ones? Like Tails, y'all can't find anyone else to voice him, and you can't just have one person voice three people." And, well, I don't think it takes a genius to see the problem with that statement and why that's disrespectful. I will say, specifically in the case of Archie, I wasn't involved in the casting process so much. That was more of a thing on Gerbil. And that's not to berate him. It's just that, with a different casting director, you're going to get different voices. And Gerbil wanted to focus on making the Archie cast basically totally different from the IDW cast, aside from Sonic himself. And so, as a result, because you can only use so many different voice actors, if you're trying to keep things as different as possible, sometimes you end up with situations where a voice actor will be doing multiple different, a lot of different voices, especially in the case of Skrullo, who voices Tails in Archie and also voices Bunny Rabeau and a few other roles. They especially do a lot of roles for us on IDW. And, you just get cases where one voice actor has to cover for a lot of different voices. And it was a lot like that. It was especially like that early on in IDW, and it still kind of is, where we had such a small team for IDW early on that it was a lot of the voices were just me and Trev. So, yeah, that's just something that you kind of have to deal with. And because of just Archie trying to go for a more diverse and specifically different cast from IDW, circumstances led to Skrullo just voicing a good amount of characters because of his range. So, yeah. And I mean, in the future, if we get other people for these roles that work to diversify things, and it also comes down to, crosstalk between roles. For example, Rio has a Tails voice that's very similar to their Ray voice, so that might cause a problem if we were to have Rio voice both Ray and Tails in one project. It would sound the same. You can already kind of hear this problem with Skrullo's Bunny and Tails, and we're working on addressing that. But either way, yeah, you get situations like that where you just kind of have to get one person to cover a lot of roles. It's nothing too new, and it's especially not something that you need to be disrespectful over. And another thing about that is that you especially shouldn't be disrespectful about just voice actors as a whole and them being different across certain versions of a piece of media, I guess. Like, the comment specifically says, "Why do y'all keep changing the voice actors to terrible ones?" In reference to Archie. It's like we're not replacing IDW actors all the time because we just want to. Usually it's just to diversify the voices a little. SPO's had a lot of voice actors. Sometimes people just can't come in to record, so we need to get understudies or just outright replacements temporarily. It's not out of a desire to just shaft people. In the case of Archie, it was just to have a distinct cast. But either way, calling voice actors terrible like that, that's just not cool. Anyway, that's that. And another thing that I feel is important to address, because I see this prop up a lot and it's pretty annoying, and especially pisses me off. Pardon my French, but it pisses me off because it reflects badly on our work and our team and the spirit that we hold. And it's just the attitude towards different dubs of the same stuff. Like, I've seen different people take on like IDW dubbing, and occasionally they'll get comments from people. Sometimes people who should know better. Sometimes it's just, kids who just don't really know how to socialize all that well, but sometimes it's people who should know better. Just saying, like, this isn't as good as Adrenaline Dub's version. Or just commenting on random dubs that comics that haven't even been dubbed by us, and saying, oh, you guys aren't as good as Adrenaline Dubs. It's like, that's not what we're about. It's not a freaking competition. We're, like, Adrenaline Dubs has a ridiculous standard for quality. And that's exactly why our dubs take so long. And the reason we have such a high standard of quality is because we've all been doing this for like almost a decade. This sort of like all these talents and crafts. Not everybody has all that experience to back them up. Their talent, they haven't had enough time to grow those talents. I've had maybe about like over 10 years of video editing experience. So it's really, really hard to match that. So in the end, like, sure, maybe some other dubber isn't quite doing the same like editing tricks that we've all learned and got up our sleeve from our like decade plus of experience. But that doesn't mean they're not trying their best. And if they're not trying their best anyway, then who cares? Just be respectful regardless. This isn't a competition. We're all in this together. We're all just having fun. All these different groups and stuff are just having fun and just doing what we can. So just, there's no need for these comparisons. And I gotta just hand it to, there's just a lot of excellent comic dubbing groups out there. Hyper's stuff, he works with us, but I've always really enjoyed his stuff even before he joined the team. His stuff is great. Dark Cloud VA, I think he goes by. His stuff is pretty good too. It's just, nobody's playing a game of catch-up here. Nobody needs to. It's just this case of, people just trying their best. They're just having fun just making comics, and you don't need to comment on their videos and say, this isn't as good as Adrenaline Dubs, or like, I bet Adrenaline Dubs would do this better. I think it goes both ways too. There are some folks who will comment on our stuff and be like, you're late, this other group already dubbed this, and it's like, okay, I don't really care. Their dub of it is probably cool. It doesn't matter if it's good or not, because we're just getting to it on our own pace. Again, it's not a competition. It's not a race. In fact, I kind of like that we're pretty behind, because it gives people an incentive to either make these dubs for themselves that we haven't covered yet, or just, go out and buy the comics and read them. So, like, it's, again, though, this isn't really about the flack towards us, because that's rare, and it's more often that you see comments on other people's dubs that are trying to compare it to Adrenaline and just be a jerk about it. Don't do that, please. And yeah, that's pretty much just what I wanted to go over. Sorry that this was such a late night stream and so impromptu. Just after I got that comment, and after the comment that Dark Cloud received from another person, that was just, I felt like I was kind of, I think a statement like this was overdue. Just because I think people need to just be respectful and be mindful that even if people can't quite match a decade of experience in all these facets, because they've only been doing this for maybe 5, 3, even just less than a year, That doesn't matter. Again, we're all trying our best, and when people aren't trying their best, it's okay. I mean, nobody's being paid for any of this. No, everybody's just doing this because they like doing it. They're just doing it to have fun and put stuff out there. So, no need for comparisons to other works. Just everything's kind of for fun. Anyway, that's all I wanted to cover. Thanks for tuning in, and hopefully it won't be long before you see the next dub from us, if you were here for news. Things have been a little backed up because I took that really long break for a bit because I was in the UK. But yeah, just be kind to one another, and don't be a jerk to other comic dubs just because we're around and we might do some things a little better. Anyway, see you guys later. Thanks.